Hello, hello. I'm REBL Risty, and we are here with Revolutionize Your Marketing with AI. And we've got Barry LaBov, who's going to talk to us a little bit about, well, his experience in marketing, but also we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of AI as he sees it. So, Barry, welcome to the show. If you could, for my audience, just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you, Rebel. I love your show, and it's an honor to join you today. My company is a marketing, communication, and training company. We also do a lot of what you might call consulting, in that we work with companies to help them grow. And sometimes that has nothing to do with marketing or training or communications. It's helping them grow their distributor network, things like that. So we've been in business 40 plus years. We have wonderful clients that are that include companies like Audi and Harley-Davidson, companies like that, wonderful companies. And what's most important to us is we focus on differentiating our clients' brands and products. And when we do that, Rebel, what's so important is we also help to inspire their employees about it. So what happens when we're all done is it's beautiful because you identify what makes you unique, your people buy into it, they become an army, and you're going to increase market share when you do that.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's kind of like a part of marketing that people don't talk about is your internal marketing and how you get your brand champions within your team out there and yeah, right behind everything that you're doing. How, maybe tell us a little bit about, I know you just wrote a book, right? On the power of difference. Did I say that right?
Differentiation, yeah.
Differentiation, sorry.
Sure.
Yeah. Tell us why you wrote that book.
Originally, I wrote the book about 2019, 2020, somewhere in there, about the value of identifying what's right in front of you at your company, what you're already doing, and then using your creativity to name it and tell its story so you can increase your sales. But then something happened while I was writing it, and it was COVID. And in 1 year during COVID, over 100 million Americans walked off their job. And all of a sudden it occurred to me, I've got to do more than just identify what a product does uniquely to help sell it. I've got to do that to help inspire their people so they actually want to show up for work and do a good job. So that's what happened.
Yeah, God, that's so important. And as a lot of businesses have found, a lot of employees were not inspired and they weren't happy and they didn't go back to work, or at least not back to the job that they were at. Yeah, and you've worked with some big names, like you mentioned Audi, Harley-Davidson. How can you take examples from these large, well-branded organizations? How does a small business implement this power of differentiation?
Well, what's really interesting is, and I'll use as an example, Macallan Scotch. They're 200 years old. That's an old company.
Yeah.
And yet today, Rebel, what's so great, and this works for everybody in our audience, what's so great, Rebel, is that they still, to this day, they believe in their product. They go all over the world to conduct experiences, where they invite people to taste. And that's what we have to do if we're a small company. We got to reach out to our customers and get them to be involved with us, have them experience what we do. They're a great example. Harley-Davidson, 120 plus years old, same thing. They have their Harley owner group, which is called HOG. And that is a bunch of Harley riders who get together and hang out and have food and listen to mediocre rock and roll music or country music, but they're having fun. So many of these great, iconic brands still to this day love what they do, what they make, and who they do it for.
Yeah, I love that. I love that example. I mean, also Harley Davidson's got Sturgis rally that they do every year. My husband is a Tennessee Squire for Jack Daniels,
Yeah.
and for the first year, it was so much fun, and I wish they would still do this, but he would get a monthly letter, and it would be these funny stories like, hey, so and so's cow is out on your plot of land, but don't you worry about it. I chased her out, and we made
Right.
sure, it was just so interesting. They really were developing this whole sense of culture, and that you owned a piece of the land out in Tennessee by the Jack
Yeah.
Daniels, distillery, and it not only did it make him or was a huge Jack Daniels fan, but a fan for life. Me too, and I don't even drink it, but I just loved how they had this personal touch, and you felt like you were important. Yeah, you're
Right.
important.
And these great brands, they hold on to that, Rebel. They don't let it go, and they don't let the wrong kind of people come to work there that don't care. They embrace this, and they want to share it with as many people as possible, and that's why they're so successful. And by the way, little companies can do exactly the same thing, only it's easier for them. They don't have
Really?
hundreds of thousands or millions of people they have to go reach out to.
Right. So how do they do that?
You can conduct, if you're a two-person company, you can conduct your own experience by inviting 3 or 4 of your customers together and having a fun, intimate discussion. It could be you could go play golf, you could go to a concert together, you could talk about business. You can do all those things. It's the thing that's important is, candidly, I'll say this, is thinking small. Think about one client at a time. Don't try to think about, hey, I need to increase, 10 times. I need 100 clients. No, think about one client at a time and
Yeah.
treat each client right. And that's
Yeah.
how we do it. I'm a big supporter of looking at each client just like you would if you have children. Each child is different than their sibling. Same thing. Each client's different. Love them for who they are and what they do.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And you're right. It is, think simple. You just have
Yeah.
to. And you're right. It could be as simple as having a get together, talk about a topic, or golf, which is, really fun. Or for us, maybe going on a hike here in San
Yeah.
Diego.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, we said that we would talk a little bit about AI.
Sure.
Since you have had such an incredible career in marketing and communications, what what are your thoughts with AI? Are you excited about it? Are you wishing people would shut up about it?
I have been in this business a long time, and what's helped me is that when I started my business, I was a musician. And one thing that was very, very interesting as a musician was that there was this new technology coming in that was called digital music. And you could actually record things digitally onto a computer instead of doing it in a studio with tape going around, okay? And that was scary. And I started my business, and I thought, well, that's kind of scary. Then my business, which included artists, graphic artists, all of a sudden got threatened because all of a sudden you didn't have to draw. You didn't have to actually even cut and paste. A lot of our audience doesn't even know what that means. They use it on their laptops or whatever, but cut and paste,
Right.
you actually got a razor blade out and glue and cut things together. Well, all of a sudden, technology took over that. I see AI as basically another situation where what we thought was kind of normal is now being challenged. Okay, so
Yeah.
I think number one, AI is here, and if anything, it's going to expand and get better, and we may call it something different in a year or two. But what
Right.
we know of artificial intelligence is here. It's not going to go away. I see it as a threat, and I see it as a wonderful positive at the same time. I believe, Rebel, in our business of trying to do things for clients and create things and understanding our clients, we cannot give up that honor to AI by saying, hey, go
Right.
write this thing for us, go do that.
Right.
However, we can turn to AI and say, okay, I've got some ideas to do blank, blank, and blank. Give me 20 different ideas like that and the rationale for it, now. And within 20 seconds, you've got more ideas which could help fuel you. But I believe, Rebel, we must own what we're producing, and we cannot mortgage or bankrupt ourselves and hand it over to AI.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Even as we're building out workflows and we're leveraging AI tools like Chat or Perplexity, we still have touch points where a human has to get involved, right?
Right.
A human kicks it off, they let it go so far, you check in, you correct it. And let's say we've read the stories where, especially, I'm always amazed by the attorneys that have let AI write their briefs and then they get busted, and
Right.
the judge is like, "Where's this cited? Where's this case?" And yeah, so we know people are doing it. We know we
Right.
shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
Uh, how how are you helping clients either embrace it or leverage it? Because I think as a marketer with a small agency, it is a challenge now. Clients want to be using it, or they're using it and they're using it poorly, but they think it's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I see with our clients is we have some clients who are using it themselves and they think, wow, look how great what we're doing is. The danger is it's not original. It may have a lot of good thoughts to it and good ideas to it, but it's not original because it came from somewhere else. All right.
Yes.
So one of the dangers is you go grab this idea and you go, hey, this is great. Okay, where did that come from? So you still have that responsibility. I think what's really important is there are certain fields or jobs that can be really dramatically affected by AI because AI can do it quicker. There's not a lot of thought to these things. You just go do it. I believe that what we have to do to not only protect ourselves, but to continue to grow is to identify the difference between what AI will deliver and what a human who understands the customer and understands their client's customers, so to speak, how we can do that, how we can come up with great ideas that inspire other humans is where we're going to stand out. We have to do the human things that AI can't. In fact, I saw a video online the other day, and the guy says, I put shingles on roofs, okay? And I know AI can't do that. So I know my job is safe. Well, we've got to look at where are the shingles in our business, right?
Right.
AI's not going to put those shingles on. Not right now, they're not. Now, maybe they'll create some machine that'll go do it, but right now they're not. We have to look at what is it that AI isn't going to do that we do, and we got to own that. That's what
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, I think it's the customer relationship, obviously, being able to be face to face, understanding emotions,
Yeah.
reading someone's face, their body language. Those are things that AI will never be able to do. And even as great as it is doing the research. And I agree with you. I think it's wonderful at being able to do research, do some repetitive things, but somebody still has to interpret that and
Yeah.
say, is this good? Is this bad? Does it make sense? This part is good, but that part isn't. So I absolutely agree. There's still a lot of shingles to be had that we hopefully humans will continue to write and make sense of. As we look at, you again, I still kudos for 40 years in the business. How
Yeah.
have you seen things change, and where do you see the future for us in the next, year or even 5 years?
Well, for one thing, I've seen that the person today that's coming into the workforce is great. They're really smart. They're creative. They do not have necessarily the same expectations, maybe the same drive, the same interest that somebody 30 years ago was coming into the workforce with. So I think we have to be relevant. We have to realize that in many cases, our workforce is different. They want to work their full-time work, and they don't want to do much more than that. It's not an honor for them to work on the weekend or after hours. So I think what we have to do in those cases is, and I think this is why differentiation is so important to me, and that is we have to really emphasize that, you know what you're doing is actually significant. And when I was growing up, because I'm much older than you, significance in the workplace meant nothing. What meant something was I have a job.
Yeah.
And I'm working for this company, and I'm making a paycheck or getting a paycheck. And if I have to work extra, I'll go do it. That's what was important. Whether or not I thought what we were doing was significant or not, I was getting my paycheck. Today, and I think this is good, it's not enough to get your paycheck. You gotta feel like, okay, what I'm doing is valid. It's meaningful. Right. Even if, Rebel, it's not that you're saving lives, but at least you're not doing stupid, repetitive things that a lot of other people do to just make a few people rich.
Yeah.
Even that, even if you can overcome that and say, look, we're helping clients. We are the people behind the heroes. We want our clients to look like heroes. We're doing ... for them. We will never lie. We'll never do those things. We're doing what we think is in their best interests. And we're sharing some of that success with all of you. I think you have a chance to have a pretty good morale. But that's one of the biggest differences.
Yeah.
It's really. Quick story. When I had my company relatively, I would say after 15 years or so, we would look at how many hours a person would work a week. They would punch in and have a time clock kind of thing. And I mean, if you were working 48 hours a week, you were kind of a slough off. You were slagging. I mean, you're not a hard worker. You only work 48 hours, okay? Well, today, that's a lot of work for 1 week. So we have to realize it's a different world. And I think the leader has to then say, okay, let's not be negative about this. Let's embrace it and say, okay, how do we make sure that those 40 hours that this person's there are the best 40 that they can give us and the client, and that we can help them share in those rewards?
Yeah. Well, and I think this is where the opportunity is for technology like AI and automation, right? Where we can automate some of, if they're doing data research or repetitive filling out forms. I was just talking to a CPA, and they are moving into where you can scan in your W-2 and then it uploads the form into your tax return, and which seems behind to me, but each to their own. And I think that's where using technology really, really benefits, because now if somebody, and you're right, this is quality of life, this work-life balance that we always talk about, and most people don't seem to know how to do. But if this is what the younger generation, the newer, workforce is doing, then hopefully they're healthier and better for it. And they'll just get more done in that 40 hours.
Right. And there's another factor that's out there, and that is there are many offshore individuals, whether they're in Mexico, the Philippines, Venezuela, Brazil, wherever, and they're working for companies in the United States and other places. And these are individuals who are putting in 40 hours, let's say. They're going to be very technology-based, and they're out there too. And they're grateful to have a job. They're on a completely different wavelength than us here in America as far as what they're getting paid. But that's another thing that's going on also. So we have to realize that we owe it to our employees to do our very best, of course, and to provide something where they could actually say at the end of a day, I think I did something pretty good today. I feel good about myself. And I think that's our one, sometimes that's our biggest problem and our biggest challenge. Yeah.
Well, I think well said. I completely agree. And Barry, I love the insights, and I think, with your experiences and everything that you've seen, maybe just a little bit left for my audience. Short of them, they should get your book, of course.
Sure.
What's a great way to get started in building that differentiation, that internal, for lack of a better word, I don't know, culture.
Yeah.
What's your number one tip?
Well, I have a few things here, Rebel. I think one thing is pay attention to words. The words you use, the words you use to describe what you do. There are 200,000 words in the English language, and so often we just use quality, service, value, selection, and price or something like that. Nobody even hears those words. So number one, use very, very, very much your discretion in picking the words that describe what you do as a company and what you believe in. You know, are we all about quality or do we have rigor? Well, rigor sounds kind of better to me. Everybody says quality. So my point is, pay attention to the words you use. A lot of companies describe what they do, Rebel, and it's the same words their competition uses.
I know. Innovation
And
and
it's
culture. Yes, I
right.
know exactly what you're talking about.
I have a competitor who's an old friend of mine, but he does a newsletter similar to my company's newsletter, and he uses my language all the time. Well, you know, anybody looking at that knows my company is going, wait a minute, that's what LaBov is saying. And my point is, what he should be doing is sharing his position with his own language. And we have to do that because otherwise people go, you're not doing anything original. So I think use your language. And the thing I also will say, we talked about employees a lot. When it's time for you to launch a new product or relaunch your brand, launch it first. Before you launch it to your world out there, launch it to the most important people first. And that's your employees, anybody who represents, fixes, cleans up after, sells, designs what you create. Share with them first before you tell the world.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that. I love that. I think so many times I've seen companies, they forget to just talk to their own people.
Right.
Who would know better. Yeah, I love that.
Well, the opposite will hurt everybody. So those listening and watching, the opposite will be if you don't share it first with your employees and you launch it, then people are going to ask them, hey, what's this new thing you're doing? And people are going to go, I don't know, nobody tells me anything here. and you're going, oh my gosh, we lost a great opportunity to get people excited about us.
Yeah, yeah. Your own employees are some of your best, could be your best brand champion.
They should be your army that is rallied, ready to go to battle with you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Barry. This has been really fun. I love listening, hearing about your stories and your perspective. If somebody did want to reach out to you and learn more about what you do or working with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Reach out to me on LinkedIn, Barry LaBov. I promise I will respond. I hear from people from all over every week. And take a look at my website, at my company's address, which is LaBov, LABOV.com, or my personal website, BarryLaBov.com. And as you mentioned, feel free to find my book on Amazon, leave a message or a review on what you think. Leave me a message on what you think and hopefully leave a review too. But I think it's real important in that book for you to realize that it's a number of stories of people who have done this and have inspired people and seen great success. So it's a very uplifting book.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll definitely put a link in the show notes as well to the book and your website. So
great.
Thank you so much, Barry. And for our audience out there, if you want to revolutionize your marketing with AI, come visit rebellabs.ai. We actually just launched some new AI team members that we find are helping our clients and other small businesses kind of wrap their head around how can they implement AI in a more effective way to help them with their marketing and sales. All right, until next time, thank you, thank you, thank you.